On July 19th, 2026, 78,000 people will pack into a stadium in the New Jersey swamplands, just 10 miles from Manhattan. The noise will be so loud you won't be able to hear the person standing next to you. Flags from two nations will stretch nearly half the length of the field. Fireworks will go off. Anthems will play. And somewhere in the bowels of that stadium, in a tunnel barely wide enough for two people to walk side by side, 22 footballers will be standing in silence, waiting for the biggest 90 minutes of their lives. Most people see the handshake. They see the coin toss. They see the players emerge from the tunnel like gladiators entering the Colosseum. But nobody talks about what happens in the 10 minutes before that. Those 10 minutes are a world unto themselves. Let's start in the dressing room, about 20 minutes before kickoff. By this point, the tactical talk is done. The manager has already drawn his arrows on the whiteboard for the 100th time. The formation has been drilled into muscle memory over 4 weeks of training camps and 6 weeks of knockout football. There's nothing left to say that hasn't already been said, so most coaches stop talking. What fills that silence is remarkable. Some players sit completely still, headphones on, staring at the floor. Others pace, others pray. Angel Di Maria revealed that before the 2022 World Cup final in Qatar, the one that ended 3-3 after extra time before Argentina won on penalties, he broke the one ritual he'd kept his entire career. He always lit a candle before matches and prayed for victory. That night, for the first time, he didn't ask for anything. He just gave thanks for the moment he was about to live. He said a few tears fell, and then Lionel Messi stood up and spoke. Not a long speech, just direct. And Di Maria said that was the only thing he needed. That's what 10 minutes before a World Cup final looks like in the dressing room. Not fire, just a room full of grown men trying to hold themselves together. Then comes the knock on the door. A FIFA official appears. It's time to walk to the tunnel. This is the moment players describe as the strangest. You've spent weeks preparing, mentally rehearsing this walk, and then suddenly you're doing it. The corridor is narrow. The lights overhead are flat and cold. You can hear the stadium, not clearly, just a low, constant roar, like standing next to a motorway. Your legs feel fine, but your chest is tight. You try to breathe normally. You fail. In 2026, FIFA changed what happens next. For the first time in World Cup history, every single player on the matchday squad, not just the starting 11, walks out onto that pitch. All 26 of them. They gather in a circle around the center spot, facing one another across two nations, while massive flags of each country unfurl across the grass. The anthems play, not to a line of players staring into the middle distance like a passport photo, to a ring of human beings, eye to eye, in the biggest stadium either country will ever play in. MetLife Stadium cost $1.6 billion to build. It opened in 2010. It has hosted Super Bowls, Taylor Swift concerts, and a Copa America. But nothing it has ever held, nothing it will ever hold, will match this. Here's the thing about those anthems. Players have described it as the moment that breaks them and rebuilds them simultaneously. Bastian Schweinsteiger, captain of Germany's 2014 World Cup winning side, said in the final minutes before winning the trophy, he had tears in his eyes and couldn't see. He said the feeling was indescribable. Not joy, not relief. Something closer to disbelief, that all the years had somehow funneled down into this one breath. France's Willy Sagnol, who lost a final on penalties, said the opposite, that it stops in 1 second and you don't know how to react, whether to cry or shout, whether to be alone or be with people. He said he still carries it somewhere deep inside him years later. One moment, two completely different eternities. And then the coin toss. Two captains shake hands, smile for cameras. One of them will lift that trophy tonight, the other will not. Both of them know it. They look each other in the eye, and in that look there is 4 years of sacrifice, of qualifiers, of missed birthdays and injuries and comeback stories compressed into a single second. Then the referee blows his whistle, and the 10 minutes end. The 1994 World Cup final was played at the Rose Bowl in California, the last time America hosted. That tournament helped launch an entire football culture on a continent that barely knew the game. Now, 32 years later, the World Cup returns, bigger than ever, 48 teams, 3 nations, 104 matches, and it ends where it was always going to end. In the biggest city, in the most powerful country on earth, in a stadium across the river from the skyline that the whole world recognizes. Those 78,000 people in East Rutherford won't think about any of this when the whistle blows. They'll think about the ball. But somewhere in a tunnel, 10 minutes before the world changes for one country and stays the same for another, 2 teams will stand in the dark and breathe and wait. And that, more than the goals, more than the trophies, more than the fireworks, is what football is actually made of.